always remember that, you know, we really don't have a clue what someone is going through outside of that setting that you see them in. So before, you know, you be that person that takes somebody's lunch or their Snicker bar or sandwich out of their lunch bag or do something shady at work, man. Just remember that, man. That could have been that one bright point. That Snickers bar could have been, or that turkey sandwich could have been that person's bright spot for the day, you know, and that could set them off. And, I'm laughing, but yo, in all seriousness, you just really don't know.
It's your boy Verse, and this is Open Mike with OTR Mike.
Yeah.
Yo, what up, good people? It is your boy, OTR Mike. And let me be the first to welcome you to Open Mike. Yeah, that's the show where the mic is always open for discussion, no matter what that may be. Man, look, I won't hold you long on this one, but I wanted to jump on here and discuss something I stumbled across on social media. It was a meme that kind of stood out to me, and I'm gonna show it to you guys. Hopefully, you can see it and read it. It's kind of small, but shout out to Billionaire Wisdom on Facebook. It says your family doesn't know how much difficulties and pressures you go through in daily life or in your job, and your work doesn't know the circumstances of your life and your home. Your colleagues, your friends, and loved ones will not understand the size of the new and old responsibilities that are above you. Bottom line, nobody feels for you but yourself. No one will understand what you're really going through, and they most likely don't appreciate efforts. Just keep on keeping on, fight, take care of yourself. So, if you, for those watching, you can see the pictures. For those listening, that's what it said, man. It's a picture of a guy holding up, looks like himself carrying himself on his back, but the person he's carrying on his back is like 18 times bigger than his normal size. And you know, although I don't agree with the statement fully. Like, uh, I do think, some people uh do understand what you're going through. You know what I mean? And people will feel what you're going through, and it's not just yourself. So I don't know. I don't wholeheartedly agree with that, even though that can be the case as well. But you know, I do know that it is some folks out here that are taking on these things, like these battles internally. You know, so I want to speak to those folks for a moment. Um, to be honest with you, man, I'm one of those folks, and the reason this hit home, uh, for me, is recently I realized that I was doing exactly this. Um, you know, I'm currently looking into possible career changes. I'm back in school, being a husband, a father, a leader at work. I mean, just being a leader at work and having people's livelihoods in your hands, man, that's a ton of pressure, man. So, um, you know, I realized that, hold up, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. I'm feeling the pressure of these things that I got going on, and people probably can't tell or don't even know. And we all have pressures from multiple places. Rather it's at work or home, with friends, family, financial, the pressures of being a better you, a better husband, better wife, a better employee, a better employer. You know, I really realized, seeing the meme, that we don't have a clue what people are dealing with. And, and there are a ton of people that keep it all bottled in. And again, like I said, full disclosure, that can be me at times. And, the crazy thing about it is a majority of, the folks like this, you may not even know. You won't be able to tell that they got something going on internally. And it's quite scary, man. Like, you know, you ever hear a story about a coworker or someone like that, and it like completely shocks you, right? Like, for example, like imagine the people who worked with somebody like Jeffrey Dahmer, right? and a story like that pops up on the news, and you're just completely blown away. Like, wait, that's not the dude I know. You know what I mean? And look, that might be a bad example, but I'm just saying, but you know what I mean? Like you hear about someone, a coworker, a friend, or a friend of a friend, and every time you seen this person, yo, they cool. They smiling, everything like you would think that life is great. And then you hear a story, whatever that may be, and it just completely blows you away. Like, damn, I didn't know this person was going through whatever. And um, you know, it's again, man, it's just scary that, somebody, you can be looking at somebody and they smiling happy, you thinking they got the world, but deep down inside, like, man, they broken. And, you know, it's crazy. And shit, some of us are the best damn actors around when it comes to hiding this stuff. Like, Oscar worthy, you know, because we're smiling on the outside, but, like I just said, on the inside, people are completely broken down. And these are the type of things that, just gets me thinking, right? Like, you see memes like that, you know, like I said, this one caught me because I realized that was happening to me. But then you just start looking through a different lens and looking at people around you, and you just like, whoa, like, you know, you me personally, I just, I might treat people a little different because you just don't know what they're going through. And I don't know why people choose to hide it. I don't know if it's from embarrassment, if it's from fear, you know, but it's just something that we do. I know for myself, I was taught not to show weakness in the light. You know what I mean? If you're going to cry or you got to cry, do it behind closed doors. And I even took that into coaching. When I used to coach basketball, we lose a game, my guys would be upset, some in tears or damn near in tears. And I would always tell my players to not show that weakness here, because we might see these boys again. So if you got to cry, show it in the locker room when it's just us, behind closed doors. And now, man, I wonder if I taught my boys the right thing. Like, it's, I hope I have a coworker, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this. And without going into too much detail, because I don't want to share his whole business, but one of my good coworkers, somebody that I consider a friend. But I watched this man go through something that I know would have broken me all the way down, like all the way down. And I feel like I'm a fairly strong dude. I'm somebody that had to bury, his parents with 8 months apart. Had a father that passed away on my birthday, so I feel like, I'm I'm battle tested when it comes to things like that. But this particular situation that my coworker was going through, it would have completely floored me. And he came to work, with a smile on his face, with a positive attitude, and like I said, I just don't know how he did it. But in my mind, I knew deep down it got to be bothering him. So, I made sure to check on him, check in with him, just to make sure he was good, because when somebody else is going through something, we tend to focus on that person, and rightfully so. But we're not focusing on the person who's having to deal with this, from a different side or a different lens as a husband or a father or whatever, so as a son, as a brother, whatever, so I just made sure, to check in with him, you know. But man, as a man, that's just how we are wired or taught, man. Like I know for him, he watched his grandfather and the men in his life work hard and they didn't show no type of weakness and I'm sure that's in his DNA and that's just how he rock and roll. Same thing with me. My dad, that's just I seen my dad cry one time. One time in my entire life, and that was at his mom's funeral. And it was almost on a sneak. I had to kind of look over to see him crying and I caught him. But it's just, the type of guy that he was. And I do think it's a moment for that way of thinking, right? Like and maybe it is in sports. Maybe it is the way that I use it for coaching. Maybe it's okay to, not show weakness to your opponent. You know what I mean? But then, I do realize now that living by that as the golden word, it might not be the healthiest thing for us, for people, period. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's just things that people deal with and that we fight, that we fighting every day, as adults. And then just having a different mind frame and just looking at certain things. And then, even breaking, I don't want to say, well, I guess you can say like some of those, I'm not gonna say toxic traits, but in some cases it is toxic, but breaking some of those traits, you know, that that were handed down to you, that hey, it's okay to, show a little weakness sometime. You know what I mean? And those things are all right. So, you know, it is what it is. Especially as parents, man, you got to keep all of that stuff in mind. But what do we do about this stuff? Like, what do we do about this feeling and this feeling of pressure and feeling like you're carrying a lot on your shoulders and you know not wanting to share it, not knowing how to share it, not feeling comfortable in sharing, um, feeling embarrassed in sharing, feeling you know that you're not living up to yourself, especially as a man. You're not living up to who you're supposed to be as a man or as a provider or as a father or whatever. You just don't know how to handle those things. Like what do you do? And honestly, I really don't have an answer to that. It's easy to spew out a ton of things, but ultimately we all have to be willing and comfortable to do any of those things. We got to be, willing to talk to somebody. Of course, that's the most popular answer to that question is to talk to somebody, whether it's a spouse or a coworker or someone who gets paid to listen to your ass. You know what I'm saying? You had to be comfortable in doing those things, and ready for it, and then you can always be, selfish, right? What I call being selfish when it comes to your own mental health and not being a selfish person. But sometimes we have to learn how to be selfish with our own mentals, and try to balance out or find that balance so that you aren't allowing yourself to be under so much pressure, no matter what that may be. I mean, that may include, you know, pushing away from some folks. That may include a new job if it's work related. That may include telling people no. Like we gotta learn how that word works sometimes, we a lot of people try to be superman or woman when really you could have just said no. You know what I mean? But you know, I don't know, man. This was just something that hit me when I saw it, and I thought I would jump on here to share my thoughts. I said I wasn't going to be here, before you long and hold you too long. So I'm going to close out in a minute, but I just want y'all to think on a few things, and to us all. Like, always remember that, you know, we really don't have a clue what someone is going through outside of that setting that you see them in. So before, you know, you be that person that takes somebody's lunch or their Snicker bar or sandwich out of their lunch bag or do something shady at work, man. Just remember that, man. That could have been that one bright point. That Snickers bar could have been, or that turkey sandwich could have been that person's bright spot for the day, you know, and that could set them off. And, I'm laughing, but yo, in all seriousness, you just really don't know. So keep that in mind that, you got some folks out here who are really, really, you know, keeping things internally, in internal, I should say, and could pop at any moment. So, maybe that might help us treat each other a little differently if you kind of look at it through that lens. You know what I mean? And, for those that are fighting the pressure or under some pressure as we speak, man, keep pushing. Keep fighting. And before it gets too far, don't be shamed. If you gotta go and talk to somebody, do it. Don't be shamed. Don't wait till it's too late and you can't handle the pressure and it completely breaks you down and stresses you out and starts affecting your health. We don't need to do that, right? We need to be able to start taking care of ourselves. I know me, shoot, I'm 40, man. I just turned 40 this year. 41 in a few months. Gotta take care of ourselves, man. We not spring chickens no more, you know? So look, man, that's it. Short episode. I just wanted to get on here and rap to y'all about it, man. Like I said, I scrolling through Facebook, and I seen that meme, and I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna get on here and talk about that for a second. So, look, man, thanks for listening. I do want to say, look, man, you can find Open Mic Podcast on all your streaming platforms and on YouTube at Open Mic Podcast with OTR Mike. Go ahead and over there and subscribe to the channel for your boy. Go ahead and do that. And then leave 5-star ratings on all your podcast streaming platforms. Do that for your boy. And while you're over at YouTube, man, go ahead and subscribe to Ring Kings Podcast for all my boxing fans. That's a show that I do with my boys Jose and Brodney of the Lunch Break Hot Take. Man, look, if you into boxing, we got it. It's all over there. It's all there. So go ahead and subscribe to that too. But furthermore, man, follow me on IG at OTR Mike _, Twitter and TikTok at OTR _ Mike. That's it, man. I'm going to catch y'all next time. Thanks for checking out with your boy. Holla at y'all. Peace.